Hello lovelies, good to be back. It's Monday. I had a good weekend. I'm in a much better place than when we last spoke, and been thinking a lot about sleep because some nights I'm having great sleep and some nights I'm not having very good sleep. I've been getting a lot of messages around dreaming. Why are we all having such strange dreams? I'm having bad dreams. My dreams are really weird during lockdown. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about that today. So I think it's really important to pay a lot of attention to the quality of the sleep that you're getting throughout this process, throughout your whole life actually. But I think that we're allowing too much stress to impact how we're sleeping and the quality of our sleep, and we need to pay attention to it because it can be quite detrimental if we let it go unchecked. So, I think that it's completely normal that people are stressing with their sleep. We're in a state of stress. We've lost our routine. We're staying up way too late at night on our tech. We're watching too much. We're stuck in a fear and uncertainty about the future. We're having financial issues. We're having relationship issues. It's completely normal for that level of stress to be present right now given what's going on, but that is really going to be impacting the quality of the sleep that you're having. And if you are not having good sleep, there's quite a few things that start to happen with you physically. So the first thing that happens with a lack of sleep is, well, it's not the first thing, but one of the things that happens with a lack of sleep is that your mental health starts to take strain. So you start having a lot of emotional outbursts. You have a very short fuse. You get very reactive. And when that carries on and on, it starts slipping into anxiety, it starts slipping into depression. So lack of sleep really does exacerbate any mental health issues you're already having. Your immune system seriously gets compromised with a lack of sleep. And during a time when all of us have to work really hard at enhancing our immunity, sleep is one of the most important things that you can do to enhance your immune system. Your memory, sleep is when memory and gets created. Your long-term memory gets created, and not sleeping affects your ability to create those memories. So not sleeping has a bad effect on your memory, short-term and long-term. A lack of sleep affects your blood pressure. It affects the inflammation in your body, and all of that can lead to real heart issues and heart disease. A lack of sleep is also going to affect your body's insulin response, which really can lead to diabetes. So that's another downside of not sleeping well. Weight gain is a big thing because lack of sleep affects the two major hormones involved around eating and hunger. You're not getting enough sleep is going to impact those hormones. You get a low sex drive from a lack of sleep, especially in men. Now, here's something I didn't know until recently, is that men need at least 3 hours of uninterrupted sleep in order to produce testosterone. So if you're not producing testosterone, you're going to have a low sex drive, and that's also a downside for not sleeping very well. And I think anyone who's had a bad night's sleep knows that your coordination goes out the window, and you get very accident prone, and you get dropsy, drop everything, and you can't focus well. So look, there's a lot of downsides around not sleeping, and it's and I think we all know that, but I don't know that any of the seriousness really of what actually happens to your body when you're not sleeping. So I want to talk a bit about sleep because I always want to go and research, and I find it very interesting to know what's going on with our brains. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a talk about sleep, and I'm not a sleep expert. So if something I'm saying through this is not correct and any of you are sleep experts, please feel free to correct me as I'm talking. But here's what we need to know, and I'm going to go through this to explain why you guys are having weird dreams at the moment. Okay, so when you sleep, you're going to go through 4 cycles of sleep. Cycle 1, 2, and 3, and the 4th cycle you have is called your REM cycle, your rapid eye movement cycle of sleep. So a complete cycle, meaning going through 1, 2, 3 and REM, a complete cycle is about 90 minutes. That's a complete finished cycle of sleep. And we need to get at least 4 or 5 complete cycles of this sleep in a night. So let's go through them. So the first cycle is very light sleep. You're still quite alert actually. And when you're slipping into first cycle of sleep is when you have that sensation that you're falling and then you jerk awake. That's happening during first cycle of sleep. The second cycle of sleep is a little bit deeper. Your body temperature starts to drop, your heart rate starts to drop, and you're now moving towards third cycle of sleep, which is a big one. So your cycle 3 of sleeping is deep sleep, and you don't wake up easily during this time because your body is now not reacting to external stimulus. So in your deep sleep stage of stage 3, this is the restorative stage of when you sleep. So this is where your body is repairing itself in sleep. So your muscles and your tissues are repairing themselves. Your growth and development of body is happening during this time. Your immune system is boosting its function during this time. You're restoring energy for the following day during this time. And deep sleep is also where nighttime issues like night terrors and sleepwalking and bedwetting, that happens during this cycle of sleep. Once you've moved through stage 3, you're now going to go to what everybody knows as the REM cycle. So rapid eye movement, and REM sleep is about an hour. This is the longest phase of the cycles. And REM sleep is when your brain is actually at its most active, and this is your dream state. So REM is when you are dreaming. So your REM cycle plays a really important role in learning and memory function. And this is why. During REM, your brain is going to consolidate all the information from your day. In other words, everything that you have seen, heard, smelled, tasted, touched, everything you've inputted into yourself throughout a day, your brain is going to consolidate all that information, and then it's going to process it, and then it's going to pack it away for long-term memory. Now, it's no wonder you guys are having bad dreams at the moment, because look at the content that you are consuming. It's one of the things I say to people all the time when they have sleep issues. Please pay attention to the content you are consuming. What are you watching on TV? What are you reading on your news feeds? Do you constantly have the news playing? Are you constantly following COVID update websites? Are you watching dark or crime thrillers on Netflix all the time? What conversations are you engaging in with the people in your life? Just think about it for a moment, because that's all the information you're inputting, and that's what your mind has to work with. And in REM state, it's taking all of that information and processing it to pack it away. And of course, there's huge negative fear-based emotion attached to all of this stuff, which is triggering a lot of nightmares. And it's why you are having these bad dreams and these nightmares. And guys, high stress actually creates more frequency of nightmares. You're going to have more nightmares when you're in a high state of stress, because this is how your brain's trying to process what's going on. So I don't know if any of you have kids have probably watched Inside Out. It's a fantastic animated movie. I absolutely love it. And if you haven't, do yourself a favor and download it. A lot of neuroscientists were involved in the making of that movie, and there's a scene in the movie where this process is beautifully described, of how it takes the information and it breaks it down and it consolidates it and it processes it, and then it packs it away to long-term memory. So it's a very cool movie to watch with your kids. If you've got kids with you, to also explain to them, why they're having bad dreams and what's going on in their days, and maybe it can help them a bit. What's also very interesting during your REM state is that this is when you have that sleep paralysis. So I don't know if any of you have ever had that. I've had it. It's really scary, where you wake up and your body's completely paralyzed and you can't move. So this is happening during your REM stage of sleep. And why is that? When you go into your dream state, your mind shuts your body down. It paralyzes your muscles so that you're not acting out your dreams while you're dreaming. So you can imagine, if you were acting out your dreams, you'd be like really injuring yourself or the person you're lying next to. So when you go into REM state, your body actually goes into paralysis. And what that sleep paralysis thing is when you come out of your REM state into waking up, something happens where your conscious mind and your body are out of sync. So your consciousness has come online before your body has. So consciously you're awake, but your body hasn't kind of kicked in yet. And during this time is where the areas of your brain that are awake to threats are most heightened. And why that's important to know is that this is where you go into worst case scenario. If you wake up and your body is not moving, this is where people go into seeing things and hearing things that aren't there. So people have described feeling like seeing someone sitting on their chest, or feeling that there's a presence in the room, or the aliens are abducting me, or something's going on with my body. And you're going to get quite hysterical. And anyone who's had this experience will know what this feels like if you're paralyzed. Just take a breath and just try and close your eyes and go back into a breathing state. And I promise you that you'll come out of that paralysis quite quickly. So hopefully that's explained a little bit about why you're dreaming the way that you are throughout this process. And between your REM state and waking up, you're obviously going to remember your dreams. And this is where people should keep dream journals. It just helps you consciously process a lot of what you've been dreaming and thinking about. So if you're having very negative content that you're watching, it's going to create very negative internal world. It's going to create negative dream state. Negative dream state is going to affect your sleep, which is going to make you stressed. And now the cycle just goes around and around and around. So for me, taking a huge break from any kind of negative content is the number one thing you can do to start addressing your dream stuff. Guys, when you're sleeping, you are building new neural cells. You are restructuring new neural pathways. Your whole overall cognitive functioning is being improved when you sleep. So if you want to get better sleep, you want to have less nightmares, and you want to be resting properly, there's a few things that you can do. So I think the golden rule with any kind of sleep health is please go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every single day. Don't binge watch until 1 o'clock in the morning and try and sleep later and later and later. Like, make a bedtime and a wake up time. That's golden rule with sleep health, number one. Number two, make sure that you're in a comfortable environment. It astounds me how many people have got a TV in their bedroom. It is one of the worst things you can do for sleep health, is to have a TV in your bedroom. That stimulation and that light, it totally activates you before going to sleep. And I know a lot of people say, well, I fall asleep while I'm watching the TV. But you disrupt it, because now the TV is on, the light is on, the sound is on, and you're just going to have to get up and switch it off. So no TV in your bedroom. Bedroom should be as dark as possible. And what's really important is that you're actually as cool as you possibly can be when you go to sleep. So people put on pajamas and blankets and electric blankets and heaters when they get cold. High heat actually disrupts good sleep. So you want your body temperature to be quite low when you're sleeping. That's important. I know that it is incredibly hard right now to separate your sleeping area from your working living area. But as much as you can try and do that, it's important, because what I think is happening now in a lot of homes is that a bedroom is now being used as a bedroom and a study and a work area, and everything's happening in the one space. So it's not like there's a separation between how you're living in the day and then going to a cozy, dark, silent space to go and sleep. So if you are working in your bedroom, make sure that you're cordoning it off, or being very disciplined with switching your stuff off before you go to bed. There shouldn't be any tech in your room. No phones, no computers, no tablets, no TV. Remove that crap from your room, really. Guys, please avoid alcohol. Okay, I know this is a touchy subject for people in South Africa who can't get their hands on alcohol. But a lot of people really, it is the number one way that people try and medicate themselves to sleep. And it's terrible. Alcohol really doesn't help you sleep. I know you think that alcohol makes you sleepy and it helps you doze off to sleep, but the long-term effects of what alcohol does for you is really detrimental. And one of the biggest things that alcohol does is it stops REM sleep. Drinking alcohol is going to stop you going into REM cycle in your sleep. So it also completely lowers your melatonin levels. And it totally wrecks your circadian rhythms of your body. So just research for yourself a bit about what alcohol actually does for your sleep. So guys, please avoid alcohol and caffeine before you go to sleep. And I've spoken a lot about this in my videos around breathing and meditating and just lowering your whole kind of reactive state before you get into bed. Guys, switch off everything like at least an hour before you want to get into bed. Read a book, do your meditation, have a hot bath, do some breathing exercises, write your journal, whatever activity kind of calms you down. That's a really good behavior to engage before you go to sleep. And for those of you who may be interested in researching more around how to manage your dreams, why don't you look up lucid dreaming? So lucid dreaming is where you are consciously aware that you're dreaming and you can start to control your dreams. There's brilliant people out there that do amazing work around lucid dreaming, and it might, if your dreams are really getting out of control, it might be something you want to investigate. Guys, I know in my own life, when I'm watching hectic stuff on TV and I'm reading hectic content, my dreams are bad. When I stop doing that stuff, my dreams change. So that's my golden rule with me, is like, what content am I inputting? And that's going to really affect my sleep, and it's going to affect my dream state. So go and look at what you are allowing into your consciousness. Pay attention to a beautiful routine around sleeping. Get enough sleep during this time. We have the luxury of it, so do it. And maybe use this time to change your whole pattern and habitual behavior around how you sleep. And let me know if your dreams start changing, if you're going to change all the stuff that I've spoken about today. So I'd love to hear from you. Let me know how it goes. I'm now going to move to doing videos 3 times a week. So I will be here 5 o'clock Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So have a lovely evening. Have a good sleep, and I will see you all on Wednesday.